Wow. Unbelievable. Thanks everyone for joining. It's Mr. Gavin Harrison here at Drumeo. Thank you so much for coming out, buddy.
Thank you, Dave. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah. I'm a longtime fan of yours. I've been following you as long as I can remember. And if you guys don't know who Gavin is, he's the drummer for Porcupine Tree, currently drumming with King Crimson, also plays with Pineapple Thief. And what you just heard there was from one of his albums that he did, solo project called Cheating the Polygraph, which if you guys are Porcupine Tree fans, you might have heard Hate Song and Halo in there. And it's a really cool album. One of my favorite albums you've done, just reimagining some of the songs from Porcupine Tree.
Yeah.
So very cool stuff, and we actually have 3 copies of that we're going to give away during this lesson once it hits YouTube, actually. So if you guys want one of these signed by Gavin, it's a 2-disc set, DVD and CD, I believe, and he's going to sign them. All you need to do is just write a comment below with what your favorite part of this lesson was, and we'll randomly give one away 30 days after the post date, so make sure you do that. But again, man, huge thanks for coming all the way from the UK to Drumeo.
Yeah, it's a long way from home.
It is, yeah.
I'm feeling the burn, the jet lag burn.
Right.
There we go.
Yeah, well, we spent all day filming some amazing courses that are going to be exclusive for Edge members with Gavin. So if you guys like what you see here and you like Gavin's playing, be sure to check us out in the member section of Drumeo, where we have a lot more of this. We're also going to do a full Q&A and interview with him tomorrow for the Edge members only. But before we get into anything, huge thanks to some of the people who've helped us get this lesson together. Sonar being one of them. You guys are great. Zildjian as well. You've set us up with some amazing sounding cymbals, along with Remo with the drum heads, Vic Firth with the sticks. You play Tama Speed Cobra pedals as well.
That's correct.
Anyone that I'm missing that you may not see here?
I mean, this incredible tactile monitoring system that I'm sitting on, the Porter and Davis system. I'm also a Gibraltar endorser, but you know, I couldn't bring the rack with me today.
Right, yeah.
And a couple of things you don't see, like hard case and Nord electronics that I use, and AKG mics. So all these guys keep me going.
Keep you going, yeah. Well, you guys all did a great job in helping us make this lesson happen, so huge thanks to you. So today we have a big lesson planned. It's all about rhythmic design, how to create amazing sounding drum parts. And I mean, you have a very unique sound, not only just in the sound of your drums, but your creative edge, like how you come up with these cool beats. And just in Porcupine Tree alone, I remember just thinking, how the heck did you come up with that kind of stuff? Not only that, but this whole album, Cheating the Polygraph, is reimagining some of the old songs, so you're being even further pushing your creative bone in that sense. So who better to have to do a lesson on this style than you? So I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to hand it over to you, and I guess we'll start out by, what is rhythmic design?
Well, I mean, a rhythmic design is really, you know, I think about drumming from an architectural point of view. I try to build a song. When I'm presented with a song, sometimes people give me a song and they don't even play me their demo drums, or sometimes they just give me a click. So it's my decision what the drums are going to do. And I've always enjoyed drummers who designed a unique rhythm for the song, or a unique path for the song, that builds architecturally, they build something more beautiful than the sum of the parts. You know, when you look at architecture, and you know, I mean, this is a building. It's a square with a door and a window. It functions as a building, but you know, when you compare that to, say, the Sydney Opera House, that's a functional building, but there's something else. There's beauty in there. And drumming, you know, the drums, it's an instrument that it's very easy to create a lot of excitement by just playing fast and hitting lots of things. It's an exciting instrument, but it's a very dynamic instrument, and you can design something elegant. You know, you can actually design something that's got grace and poise in the notes that you choose, the sound that you play it with, and the position that you decide to chop up the bar. And, you know, having a sense of balance. So when something, it's like making a nice pasta sauce, you want to put just the right amount of spice in. What is the right amount of spice? Well, that's subjective, isn't it? But you can certainly have too much. If you think you look cool wearing a gold chain, do you look 10 times more cool if you're wearing 10 gold chains?
Right.
Right? So I think you start to develop over the years an idea of what works and what, not only functionality-wise, because the audience need to hear the time and they need to feel a sense of where the one is. Think, oh, this is in 5, okay, and he's putting the backbeat on 3. Now I'm starting to understand the time. You know, it's functional. But there's all sorts of other little musical embellishments and little tricks you can use to build a nice, architecturally beautiful drum part that works for the song, and really think, you know, outside the box. Don't think like a drummer.
Right.
Drummers, and I'm including myself in earlier years in this, have a habit of thinking in a square. So you play time, and then you play a fill, and then you play time, you know what I mean? It's all moving in a little square. And I liked, you know, certain drummers influenced me when I was younger who wouldn't play like that, who played interesting. You've probably heard this expression before, that it's everybody's job in the band to play in time, but it's the drummer's job to make the time interesting. Right?
Right, yeah.
So you don't have to just play. If, say, the first verse just needs 2 and 4 on the hi-hat, you don't have to just sit there going, right? It hasn't got to be like that.
Right.
You can, what I would do is listen to the lyrics, listen to the vocalist, and look for spaces to do small musical embellishments. Maybe, you know, you're listening to the vocal. That's a musical embellishment. And you put it in the right place, and it's beautiful. You do it every bar, and it's horrible. Right?
Yeah.
So you start to get an idea, mainly through experience, of trying lots and lots and lots and lots of different possibilities.
Yeah, now I practice, and you try and work on these creative ideas, and you get these cool concepts in your head, but sometimes when you go to a show or you go to your practice room with all your other bandmates, and sometimes you just freeze, you know, deer in the headlights. Like, how do you deal with that?
Well, I've got a kind of theory that it's a way of thinking that has helped me and some bandmates, and I call it my CPU theory. Right?
Okay.
I imagine that this is the CPU. I don't really think humans are anything like a computer, but for the sake of this discussion, let's say this is your central processing unit.
Right.
And to play well, you can't tax the CPU 100%. If you tax it 100%, you've got no room left to listen. Like, for instance, when I was 6, somebody showed me how to play a paradiddle. And this is how I played it as a 6-year-old. Hey, I made it, right?
Yeah.
Now, my 6-year-old CPU was maxed out just remembering the hand combination. I couldn't tell you if I played it in time because I had no room left in my CPU to listen. Right? Now, what can happen is that you play the drums and you're not really listening, and then you listen back to the recording and think, oh, God, that's awful. Why couldn't I hear that when I was playing? It's because you were just too full. Your CPU was too full. Now, you might go on stage and feel like, I can't really tell if this is in time. I can't tell if the dynamics are correct. I'm in such a panic by playing something tricky that I've maxed out in my head. I've got no room left to listen. And really good drummers, they can play quite complex things, but only use a very small amount of the CPU. They've got a lot of room left to listen, to judge whether you're in time with yourself, whether you're in time with the click, if you're playing to a click, whether you're playing appropriately for the song dynamically, if you're playing right with the bass player, listen to the vocalist, listen to the guitarist, the keyboard player, and have a much bigger view of what's going on, because you haven't got your head down in the engine room, right? You're up on the bridge steering the ship, looking where you're going. when you've just got your head down in the engine room, you're maxed out on your CPU, you're thinking about some clever, tricky, sticking thing, and you think, I can't tell if this is even any good.
Right.
Right. I remember doing a session once, and I was out in the studio, and I was playing, and I was concentrating, and at the end of the song, the producer said to me, "How was that?" And I said, "I don't know. I'll come in to the control room and listen." And he said, "Well, weren't you listening when you were playing?" I thought, I wasn't. I wasn't really. You know, you need to get, if what you're playing is filling up your CPU too much, you need to simplify what you're doing. It's more important that you're listening than playing a flam quadruple quintuplet paradiddle with you know, in 5 or something.
Right.
It's more important that you're actually listening to what you're doing and judging it there and then. It's no point listening to a recording of last night's gig and thinking, oh man, that fill really sped up. That's 12 hours too late to do anything about it.
Right.
You need to be kind of in the moment. Now, under pressure, what used to take up 50% of your CPU is now taking up a lot more because the pressure, the adrenaline, the nerves, will suddenly fill up your CPU unexpectedly. And I've noticed it so many times in what I do. Like I've gone on to play a drum clinic and suddenly I can't play any ghost notes. My left hand's just turned to jelly.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to play something quite complicated and I didn't have any room left. When you see great guys playing, really, really great drummers, they have a fantastic CPU and they're only using a small amount of it. They can play in 17/16, they can be listening to the band, they can improvise, they can play solos, they can react, the bass player plays something, you think, yeah, I can play that as well. You're really totally in there. And understanding that that's how at least my brain works, I know when I get under pressure to expect that everything's going to feel really slow. Press play on here, click so slow because your heart's pumping, your CPU's going up, right? And I've done some pretty high pressure things. And to be honest with you, almost every important thing that ever happened in my career was under pressure, under massive pressure.
Right.
So you need to psychologically try to find a way to deal with yourself.
Right.
This isn't necessarily about getting over stage fright. This is just dealing with the complexities of playing the drums and still having room left to listen and judge. It's not necessarily about getting nervous or anything. The good news is you upgrade your CPU on a daily basis. The more you practice, the better it will get. I can play a paradiddle now. It'll probably only take 1% of my CPU. I don't even have to think about it.
So you use the rest of that CPU, if we're going to go with this analogy, for the writing process, is to become creative without having those pressures.
Exactly. You've got to have room left on top of your ability. If you play at the max, you've got nowhere left. You know, you can't even think of an imagination. Your imagination can't even pull out a tasty fill. You're rabbit in the headlights, right? Like you said.
Yeah.
So from a musical point of view, it means that I can concentrate on the song, listen to the dynamics of the song, listen to the singer, put in tasteful, small musical embellishments, not too many, and not too, you know, just enough.
Just the right amount, yeah.
And concentrate on being musical as a drummer. And I think you need to give up your ego as well. Stop trying to score points with young drummers and amateurs by doing big flash fills that, you know, might win you a Modern Drummer Award, but it's not going to win you any friends in the band. You know, the other guys in the band, what they want from the drummer is someone who plays great time, has got a nice sound, plays the song without mistakes, and listens. You can tell when people are listening. And the bass player might do something, or you might do something, and then he plays it with you. It's a communication, isn't it?
Right. So you upgrade your CPU. Now you can listen a lot more when you play. How do you turn that into amazing grooves? Like, what are you thinking of when you're creating rhythms for these songs? Like, you do a lot of recordings where people will just send you a track, no click, sometimes no scratch track for the drums, and they just say, let you do your thing. Like, what's going through your mind?
Well, the first thing that goes through my mind when I play a song that someone has sent me, usually I want to hear it without their guide drums, first of all, because I want to think, what would I really like to hear on this song? I remember Peter Erskine saying he was giving advice to a student who said, what should I play on this song? He said, well, imagine what you'd really, really like to hear on this song and then play that. And that's what I do. I don't have to be sitting at the drums trying everything. I can just sit there with my eyes closed and think, what would I really, really like to hear? What would make me think, oh, that's good, that's tasteful, that's an idea. It's about ideas, really, more than anything else. And right from the get-go, I'm thinking about the sound. So I listen to the song, and I'm thinking, well, what kind of ride cymbal is going to be right for this song? What kind of snare drum is going to be right? Am I going to use a 12-inch snare, a 14-inch snare? What kind of pitch should it be? What kind of hi-hats? And I even start thinking about the mix straight away. Because as I told you before, I'm lucky in that I play my drums in a control room, and outside of my control room, I have this massive, like, village hall. It's like, it's huge with a 50-foot ceiling, and I've got a pair of microphones out there capturing the live ambience. And I've got a pair of overheads, and I've got all these close mics. Now, I could mix the song using the live room microphones as the leading edge. It's going to be really big, John Bonham, powerful rock sound. And then fill in the gaps, like, oh, the bass drum's a bit thin, so I'll just bring the bass drum in. The toms are a bit thin, I'll just bring a little bit of toms in. And if I know that's the sound I'm going to use on the song, that's going to make me play a certain way. Another approach would be to start with the overheads, a more jazzy approach, and that is your drum sound, the overheads. And then you use the local mics to just fill in the holes, or you could go for a more, 80s, 70s, 80s production and start with the bass drum mic, start with the snare drum mic, the hi-hat mic, all these local mics, use the overheads for cymbals and the ambience mic for a bit of reverb.
So you're thinking about the overall sound qualities before you even come up with the patterns and the grooves?
Well, they're all interlinked.
Okay, yeah.
The sound and the patterns. I mean, the sound sometimes is the inspiration. If I've got a really nice ride cymbal, I'm thinking, oh, I like this ride. This sounds great when I just play really simple fours. Let the cymbal speak for itself. I don't need to play 100 billion notes on it. And if the toms are sounding good, maybe I can get away with just a couple of hits and let the sound of the toms do the work for me, rather than fill it in with lots of notes. Because maybe if the tom sound isn't happening, well, what can I do? I can just play a lot of rhythm on it, a bunch of notes to try to make something of it.
Right.
So the sound is really important. That might be even the start of the inspiration. And then I start thinking about the parts. And most songs, if they're in 4/4, for instance, you need to think, right, where am I going to put the backbeat? Am I going to put it on 2 and 4? Am I going to put it on 3?
Right.
That's going to make it feel half time.
Yeah.
Am I going to put it on, the 16th note after 2? Am I going to put the snare drum on 3 and? There's all sorts of places you can stick the backbeat without it being on 2 and 4. It doesn't have to have a 2 and 4 backbeat to groove.
Right.
Right? David Garibaldi, those kind of drummers. Steve Jansen was a massive influence on me. He was a drummer in a band called Japan. And Steve has got no chops at all. If he was sitting here, he would say, yeah, I can't even play a double stroke roll. But he had a really beautiful artistic vision as a drummer, and he could play amazing drum parts that always caught my ear. They were never difficult to play. They were never had any technique in them, but he would just put the backbeat in a weird place, or he would open the hi-hat in an unexpected place for quite a long time, and you would think, oh, that's nice. I like that. It's not really about the technique. I'm impressed by technique, but I'm not moved by it, right? And I want to be moved. I want to connect to the performer. I want our souls to have a connection. I I want to feel that person's personality. I don't want it to be disguised by a sort of gross display of technique, because that's hiding it. You know what I mean? That's that's disguising it.
Right.
So that's what I'm looking for in a drum part, something that I think, oh man, that is just great. That's right on the money. It's interesting. It's not flash. It's serving the song.
Now, you have a song, you brought a song with us,
Yes.
with you. It's from your Pineapple Thief album there. You're going to play a bit of this song, and I want you to tell us what you were going through afterwards.
Yeah.
And so we can kind of dig into the brain of Gavin.
Yeah. This is a band who contacted me last year, and they sent me their songs, and this might have been the first song I heard, and I immediately started having ideas. So, you know, when people ask me to play on their songs, I say, I'll only do it if I can feel a connection to the music. There's no point me just going through the motions and taking the money off you. I wouldn't be true to myself, and I wouldn't really be doing your music justice. So if I can connect to it, and I can imagine myself on it, I can imagine things to play, then I'm going to be happy, because it's more about the expression and the quality.
Right.
Really. So I'm going to play this song for you. This is a song called In Exile, and then we'll go through some of the sections.
Love it.
And I'll show you why I played what I played.
Perfect.
Right, here we go.
We are in exile. You know. We were wrecking our lives, you know. We were hostile, and we fought to the death. Ooh, don't be afraid to miss me. Ooh, don't be afraid to miss me. Ooh, don't be afraid to miss me. I am in exile. I know. I am wrecking
All right.
Wow, dude, that's amazing. So, what were you thinking of? Because those are some very creative parts.
Right.
If I'd heard that song, I wouldn't have gone there when I played.
And that's really the beauty of every person. They will all do a unique thing.
Yeah.
That's just what I felt. I mean, I worked on the parts for about 3 days until I was happy. The beauty of having a studio at home is I can do that. Sometimes I work on a song for half an hour and I think this is the best part for this song. Sometimes with music like this where there's good opportunities, I think, yeah, I could have just played dum da dum da all the way through the song.
Right.
And it would have functioned.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been a very dynamic way to go. It certainly wouldn't have been a unique way to go. So I listened to the song and I listened to the guitars to see what kind of rhythm, they were playing.
Okay.
So the guitars are kind of going.
We are in exile.
Right, like a 3/16. And that would work if I just played straight time. But I thought maybe I could pick up on those beats, and I probably played something like this. But I thought, well, actually, I'm not hearing that amount of aggression coming from this track. This sounds to me like a much more delicate song, at least to start with. So I thought, well, maybe I could, maybe I can play. And maybe I will put something on the 4, or maybe I think there's even a little programmed electronica. So there was a thing I've been doing for years, which is when I'm playing a cross stick, I like to play the ghost notes with the ends of these 2 fingers, right? So you can find patterns. There's lots of ghost notey things you can do, even though your hand's down in this position. And I liked the idea of doing a 5-stroke roll. Reminded me of a Jeff Porcaro track that he played, I think, on a Larry Carlton album, late 70s, early 80s. I think Jeff's thing was like this. There was this nice little 5-stroke roll going on. It was very quiet and very subtle, but it was the thing that made my ears stand up. I mean, I love Jeff's groove and drumming anyway, but that was a special little thing that he was doing in the song.
Right.
So those 5-stroke rolls kind of are the ear candy, shall we say. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You don't need to wear it out and play. You've got to know when too much spice is too much spice, right?
Right.
So I started to play that pattern, and it made sense in the verse to play basically the song is 4 bars singing, 4 bars bridge, 4 bars singing, 4 bar bridge, 4 bars singing. So, okay, in the verse parts, I'll play. And put something on the 4 to give it a balance.
Okay.
And then when the guy stops singing, we've got this little bridge. So I thought, well, maybe I'll just build the pattern a little bit. and then go back to the original verse pattern. You know what I mean? It's just a little bit of it's a little bit of an architect's drawing. We're going up a step, and then we're going back down a step. And this is the way I think about it as we're playing along. Now, by the time we get to the second verse, I wanted to pick it up and introduce the snare drum.
I am in exile. I know.
Now we've got distorted guitars in there that weren't in the first verse. So now I can go to the snare drum. I'm still keeping that 3/16 feel, but now I chose to play like almost like a reverse snare idea. So it's still on the
Right.
4th 16th, but it's a buzz leading up to the first snare drum note.
Right.
And the very first time I played through the song, you know, I wasn't worried about the arrangement. I was just looking for ideas. And one time I accidentally went, and I really liked that movement on beat 4. 1, 2, 3.
Right.
It just felt
So sometimes
slippery.
Sometimes the ideas come from just your own thoughts, your own mind, just listening to it. And sometimes they come from you like the feeling of something that you accidentally did.
Yep.
Yeah.
Always good to start recording right from the beginning, because there might be one thing that you played the very first time you played it when your mind was in a different place and you did something accidentally, and I think, oh, I like that. I'm going to incorporate that into the song and kind of build it. Now, after we go through the second verse, we reach a part where the guitars felt like they were going 1, down, down, bang, 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 bang. They're playing like 2 and, 4 and, 2 and I wanted to pick up on that. And the pattern I came up with, and to move the song on from a sort of forward, propelling the song, was a trick I've used a lot, which is kind of triangle.
Right.
If you do it the other way round, it has a completely different feeling. Now you're getting into like a disco feel, right? But when you put the open hi-hats on the beat, in my mind, it feels like you're propelling the song in a nice, smooth way. So the part in this section I played. The ghost notes are a very important part of any rhythm. The best way to practice ghost notes, in the dark. Never mind.
There you go.
Oh, yes. I'm here all week.
You're here all week. I wish you were.
So I might, even in post-production, I might choose to turn those ghost notes up a little bit if they're not coming through the track, right? There's 2 right there. Difficult pattern to play, but it's making the time interesting, it's propelling the track, and I'm starting to get a feel that the track's moving up and moving up.
Yeah.
And by the time we get to the end of the song, you're flat out playing 2 and 4 with a guitar solo. So it's like, if that was the most obvious part to play, let's put that at the end and reverse engineer backwards until we've got right down to something that includes some little ghost notes, and kind of build it up. I mean, I didn't play through the song and come up with this. It took 3 days.
Sure, yeah.
And what I always do is I work on it all day, and then I leave it. First thing in the morning, I press play, and I immediately know what I like and what I don't like about it. The bits I like, because I've forgot, you know, I've been asleep for 10 hours or something. I've forgotten how the song goes.
Yeah.
And the same with the mix. And I press play and think, right, the bass drum needs to be louder. The hi-hat's too loud. We don't need a tom on beat 4 in the first bridge, right? Or something like that. And I sit and really, with 100% CPU, right? I'm really sitting, listening, judging, and working out what I think is going to be the best part for the song from my personality, really. Because that's really what's controlling the decision making, is me saying, that's good, that's bad.
Right.
So you're playing producer and engineer and drummer and arranger.
And I think that's the problem, is a lot of drummers, they just like the physical aspect of it and the technical ability, and they don't think about production. Like, we just heard how you took that song and listened to these great parts in the song that you wanted to accent.
Right.
But what I guess we don't know is why and how you decide to accent those. And that's, I guess, experience, just listening, because you picked out some really good points in that song. But how are we supposed to know as drummers what to play over top of that? You know, that's the $1 million question.
Well, that is the $1 million question. You play what you think is right, and probably based upon things that you've heard in the past that you like. Sometimes I'll play something and I'll think, I can really hear a bit of Jeff Porcaro in that, and I like that. Or this sounds too much like Jeff Porcaro, right? So I'm going to not do that.
Right.
And it was always interesting to me to learn things from listening from drummers, but then to not copy exactly what they did. I never worked out all of Steve Gadd's fills. I tried to understand why he played the fill in that place of the song, and the type of fill he did and what it did to the song, whether it was going from the verse to the chorus or the chorus to the verse, he was bringing it down. So I tried to take notice of the intention more than the actual lick itself.
Right.
I don't really like taking licks out of context.
Yeah.
I've seen people on the internet take some of my drum fills and do lessons on them, and that's fine, but really what's much more important is, why did I play that fill at 7 minutes 49 into that song? Not, wow, there's some tricky stuff in here, so why can't we work it out? I mean, it's cool to work things out, that's great.
Right.
But I think it's important that you understand why the drummer played that fill at that moment or not. I mean, when you're young, you tend to play a fill every 2 bars.
Yeah.
Right.
Every 1 bar if you can. Right.
Or just fill the whole
or
time.
just fill the whole time. Right.
So then you have to think, right, when's the time to play a fill? When's the time to open the hi-hat? When's the time to play something on these bells? You know, you've got a lot of choices, and you've got to start thinking really about design. You know, when I walk around a town, I'm looking at the architecture and I'm thinking, why did some guy build that? Because that's horrible and it doesn't fit with any of the other architecture around here. Or, you know, you go in a shopping mall and you see a whole load of watches. Now, they all do the same thing. They all do the functionality of telling you the time. But some of them really attract your eye.
Right.
And you think, that watch there has got something amazing. It's got beauty. In the designer of that watch is someone I want to meet.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Because that person, whoever it was, had a beautiful vision. The best thing you can do, in my experience, is have a great idea. Because once you've got a great idea, then filling in the details is easy. Sometimes the problem is that you start with the details and hope they add up to something good. And they rarely do. You just end up with a bunch of details.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you have a jam with a guy and he says, oh, I've got this lick on the bass. And you say, that's good. I've got this lick on the drums. And wow, you know, this isn't a song. This is just a bunch of silly licks and fills that you and a friend have put together. You haven't really composed anything.
Right.
You've just put a load of details together, which in themselves might be interesting, but there's no context for them. There's no big idea that you can work, that you can work on.
Yeah, brilliant. So what advice can you give to young drummers starting out on drums, or even beginner drummers who may not be young, but just who are getting into writing and or recording?
Yeah.
When it comes to creating unique drum parts?
I mean, I would think the first thing any drummer should work on, including me, is their time. You can always make it feel better. And making it feel good is the most important thing. You could be playing the cleverest thing in the world, but if it doesn't feel good, you've lost the point, right? And timing, sound, work on your sound. Why does your bass drum sound terrible? Experiment with beaters, with tension, with heads, with muffling, you know, all those things, with microphones. You need to start, because the sound is so much part of the creative process, you need to start thinking about, well, what is this microphone? Do I like it? Is it in a good place? Is it doing the job? Find out, you know, when you're working with engineers, try to find out, well, why is that snare mic that far away from the snare drum? What if it was a centimetre away? What if it was right back here? What effect is that going to have on the sound? So I would always recommend a young person, a young musician, to do a course in engineering.
Really?
Yeah, because that's the way the world's going. More and more and more sessions are done at home now.
Yeah.
So you're going to have a grasp of some sort of it, not only the software, but the actual engineering of miking up the drums and getting a good sound.
What about even before you record? You're just in the jam room with your band, and you are trying to create a song with your group. What kind of steps before you even get to the recording stage?
Yeah, well, you need to let your imagination do the work, right? You need to be able to imagine a good drum part before you can play it. Just throwing your arms and your sticks at the drums rarely comes up with a good part.
Right.
And you need to feel comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, if you're in a room with a bunch of guys, you feel intimidated or you feel nervous, or you feel scared, you're not really at your best. Then that's when you start thinking about the CPU and trying to get comfortable with your sound and work on your timing. I mean, to develop your own sound and your own ideas, I would always say, whatever you're shown, try to make a whole series of variations of what that guy played. For instance, I could give you a quick example. In 1982, unbelievably, the British Broadcasting Company suddenly put on national TV a Billy Cobham drum clinic, right?
Wow.
And we went, what? What's this? Right?
Yeah.
So we all watched. Every drummer I knew was watching.
Yeah.
And Billy showed us this pattern. And really quickly, it's basically, you might have seen this before, it's 4 this way, 3 this way.
Right.
Beautiful. I'd never thought to play the drums like that before. In 1982, all my fills went. Didn't even play fills going the other way.
Right.
It was all about descending fills. And when I saw Billy do that, and I thought, wow, that sounds like a marimba.
Right.
And for the next 6 to 9 months, every drummer I knew in London was on their gig playing this every 4 bars.
Right. Yeah.
And I thought, oh my God, not someone else doing this thing.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, where could I take this?
Yeah.
Where could I go from this? Because this was the whole subject of Billy's 1-hour drum lesson. And it was fantastic. It was a new way to think about playing the drums to do with motion. And I thought, okay, well, maybe I could play doubles or triplets. Or I could hit. Okay, I've got 5 toms. Maybe I can play a mixture of 16s and triplets. Maybe I can substitute a tom with a cymbal. I can go the other way. Maybe I could interrupt the rhythm with a bass drum. Maybe I could play. You know, more and more variations starting building on top of each other. And this was my creative path. Maybe I can play a group of 5. Right? Now, I'm starting to get further and further and further away from Billy's original idea.
Right.
And I'm starting to sound more original, but still based on his concept.
Using that influence to
Right.
help build your own creativity.
Yeah, I mean, I could play. I recently did a little drum duet with Steve Smith over the internet. He recorded his part, I recorded my part. And at one point, I thought of this fill. It's like a pattern of 5. Pattern of 6, sorry.
Okay.
Using Billy's motion idea, now I'm getting a long way away from where his original pattern was. And, you know, so you take an idea, you learn an idea, you make variations of it, you try to turn it into a concept. When it's a concept, you can start applying new rules to it. You can say, right, I'll do this, but I'll do it in 7.
Right.
Or I'll do it in 3.
Right.
And you start creating a new path for yourself. But really what's important is the path you took to get to there from here. And these little things about, okay, could I play it in doubles? Could I interrupt it with a bass drum? Can I substitute the sounds? All these things could be used in any context as a way of manipulating the path that you're taking.
Yes.
So when you're in the middle of creating a drum part and you think this doesn't work, what are you going to do? Right? Just go home? No, you're going to start thinking, well, what could I do? I could, rather than use the snare drum, I'll use the floor tom. Rather than the hi-hat, I'll play the ride. Maybe I'll do it in a different subdivision. Maybe it's a textural thing, maybe it's a dynamic thing, maybe the sounds are wrong. There's all kinds of creative solutions. You need to find your own creative solutions for your problems.
Right.
And when I was studying a lot and I would find something I couldn't play, I really wanted to play it. The only way I could play it was to backpedal and find a creative solution to my own problem, whatever that may be.
Right.
So that's the advice I would give to young players about playing musically, is you need to find your own creative solutions for the pieces.
Brilliant.
Okay.
There are such great tips in that last segment there. You guys need to watch it over again, especially when you were even breaking down that Pineapple Thief song.
Yeah.
That was very cool, just hearing what you were picking out. You were really listening. You're picking out the guitar parts, 3/16 pattern
Yeah.
on the guitar. How do I elevate it? Now there's distortion in the guitar section, you know, and then it goes to the chorus, you know, and then you start, that's the end payoff, then you reverse engineer how you get there. Great tips. And then even in creating patterns and becoming creative with rhythms, we get questions all the time. Like, how do I be creative? Like, this is a great lesson for that.
Right, good.
Yeah.
Good.
We're really low on time.
Shall I play another song?
Play another song for us, and then we'll talk a little bit more, and then we'll wrap up. What song do you have for us? Is this the start of something beautiful?
I'm going to play the start of Something Beautiful. This is another Porcupine Tree song. I'm going to put this 12-inch snare on.
Okay.
Just because, I don't know.
Why not?
Because it's here.
Yeah.
And I like playing it.
All right. So whenever you're ready.
Yeah. Okay, so this is the start of Something Beautiful.
So good. Well done, man. Well done. So I would love to keep going and just keep chatting drums, keep chatting about rhythmic design, and keep watching you play songs.
Thank you.
But we're really low on time.
Okay.
So we are going to wrap it up. Is there anything you'd want to add before we do wrap this up?
No, I think we've covered really the most important parts to me, my approach to playing the drums and trying to be creative with the drums.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, some of the more technical issues we're going to cover in the lessons.
Absolutely. For those who don't know, when we bring guests like Gavin out, we always film some exclusive material for our members area inside of Drumeo, and this is no different. We've already filmed 2 courses. We're going to be filming another 2 tomorrow. It's going to be absolutely amazing, and we do dive a little bit further into this, as well as some great coordination stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff happening. We're also going to be live tomorrow for Edge members for a live interview and Q&A with Gavin as well. And if you guys are watching this on YouTube and it's within 30 days of our post on YouTube for this lesson, you can win a free copy of Gavin Harrison's album, Cheating the Polygraph. It's a 2-disc set, 5.1 surround version of the albums on here on the DVD format and the CD as well. And you're going to sign them too.
Yeah.
Very cool. If you guys are a Porcupine Tree fan, regardless if you win this or not, go and get Cheating the Polygraph. I am a huge Porcupine Tree fan myself, and I love that album. It's a really cool, you've heard a couple songs in it already. It's a really cool version or a rendition of some of those old Porcupine Tree tunes. So again, a huge thank you to all you guys watching live. A huge thank you to Sonar, Remo, Zildjian, Tama Pedals, Porter and Davies Thrones, Gibraltar Rack, who we didn't even use today, but huge thanks to everyone for helping us make this happen. Huge thanks to you, Gavin.
Thank you. Yeah.
No, thank you, man.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah. The information in this lesson is great. You guys should all watch it again. And that being said, do you want to play us out with one more song?
I'm gonna play Cheating the Polygraph, the title track of this piece.
Beautiful.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone. I'm going to leave so I can watch it from in there.
All right.
Cheers.